Roger at hemphearts.com hereby challenges Amazing Polly to further expose the convergences of wealthy elites and political elites in the food and health industries that deliberately ruin our health and then profit from our debilitation. Amazing Polly is so beautiful that I cannot imagine that she would have any health problems herself. Yet, because I saw her smoking in one video, so I suspect that I might be able to offer a challenge that will interest her. I am old and have observed that it is usually the smoker's diet that kills smokers, not the smoke. Smokers who want to remain thin commonly choose a cigarette instead of a high-protein food whenever they feel hungry. Then, because they waste so much money on cigarettes, they often consume cheap starch meals, especially in Canada, where poultry products are 5 times as costly as they are in the US, and where dairy products are 3 times as costly as they are in the US, and where elites have regulated everything, making the cigarettes that offend them very expensive. We hereby offer Amazing Polly any amount of our Hemp Hearts Protein Flakes, sufficient to restore elasticity to hardened, half-plugged veins and arteries in anyone close to her who has obviously damaged their health with low-protein diets, as described here. If she finds a few heavy smokers with high blood pressure, we will supply significant amounts of our Hemp Hearts high-protein flakes for their diets to restore elasticity to their veins and arteries so their hearts will be able to circulate blood at low pressures. Wrinkles will often then also leave their faces. Amazing Polly radiates honesty and good intentions. She might favor Maxime Bernier for the next Prime Minister of Canada, possibly the only politician who has ever seriously proposed to eliminate the Supply Management Marketing Board system that ensures that Canadians pay 5 times as much for protein poultry products as Americans, and that ensures that Canadians pay 3 times as much for protein dairy products as Americans. But American poultry and dairy products are nevertheless expensive compared to their prices when Canadian children supplied much of Canada with milk and eggs from cows and chickens that were scavengers, cruising coulees in unproductive places where they converted fallen seeds, insects, dry grass, and dead leaves into health-giving protein. Now poultry products and dairy products are derived from animals kept in confinement and supplied with feeds that are produced using lands and other resources that could be used to grow food for humans. Nothing is more stupid. And Maxime Bernier seems to be missing the most important point, that the unnecessary high cost of real protein foods has long been the primary cause of the premature debilitation and death of millions of Canadians, especially poorer Canadians. The high cost of real protein foods is the reason that our Aboriginals have a useful life expectancy that is less than half that of other Canadians. The high cost of real protein foods is obviously the reason that so many poorer Canadians choose immensely more cereals, breads, potatoes, pasta, and rice, inevitably becoming fat-blind diabetics with minimal circulation to their brains and no feet. Links to 2 of Amazing Polly's best videos can be found here, but many more of her videos can easily be found on YouTube and elsewhere. This section of Hemp for Independence should be of interest to anyone who wants to be both healthy and independent, becoming neither a tool nor a consumable for the convergences of wealthy elites and political elites who believe that they have the right to debilitate us with diet and then profit from our debilitation. Those who do not protect themselves from the atmosphere of junk science and other nonsense created by the convergences of wealthy elites and political elites who dominate the food and health industries will inevitably suffer from premature debilitation. Convergences of elites who dominate the food and health industries supply false information, leading to inappropriate regulation that inevitably results in hardened arteries, high blood pressure, poor circulation, progressive senility, diabetes, inflammation, chronic pain, and continuous medication and decades of uselessness. The only thing we need to know about food and health is that we are mammals. Our bodies developed during infancy, requiring nothing more than the ingredients in mother's milk. A. Real protein for making soft body tissue. B. Calcium for making bones. And C. Fats for energy. In other eras, after babies quit nursing, they, like their parents, ate almost nothing but buffalo, or fish, or sea creatures, or dairy and domesticated animals, all real protein. Roger at hemphearts.com learned from lab tests that each tiny 2-ounce or 55-gram serving of our Hemp Hearts Protein Flakes contains all of the amino acids, protein, equal to 2 quarts of mother's milk. Roger at hemphearts.com learned from our tens of thousands of customers that those who consume at least 2 servings of Hemp Hearts Protein Flakes per day, available in several forms, can restore elasticity to hardened arteries to achieve childlike blood pressures. These meals, with a little dairy for calcium, are only about 250 calories, so it is easy to achieve any preferred weight. These meals contain virtually no sugars or starches, so it is easy to reverse diabetes, even putting circulation back into diabetic feet and eyes and brains. Because no human will consume more than 6 ounces of Hemp Hearts Protein Flakes per day, only a small part of the land now used for human food and animal feeds would be required to supply the entire population of the world with enough real protein to guarantee amazing health and spectacular achievements. Excess arable land could be used for dietary novelties, especially fruit, vegetables, and other real proteins. Those who grow millions of acres of starch grains, those who supply the sprays and fertilizers and fuels and machinery and irrigation and technology necessary for the producers of starch grains, those who make immense fortunes processing these starch grains into a spectrum of imperfect foods that do not satisfy very long, causing us to eat again too soon, those who supply recipes and labels and packaging and transportation relative to these very imperfect starch grain foods, those who pretend to assist those who become obese from starch grain diets without reversing their obesity, those who pretend to assist those who become diabetic from starch grain diets without reversing their diabetes, those who pretend to assist those who develop hardened arteries and cardiovascular disease from starch grain diets without putting elasticity back into their arteries, those who manufacture and market medications that only alleviate the symptoms of myriad health issues caused by starch grain diets, those who manufacture and market supplements that only pretend to assist those who have become debilitated by starch grain diets. All of the above are participants in an immense food and health fraud that is promoted and protected by a convergence of wealthy elites and political elites determined to impose their disastrous ideas and programs on us. Bays could easily be farmed by individuals to produce more fish than we need for dietary novelties, so the oceans would recover their previous productivity. Chickens and cows could again become scavengers, guided again by children to consume items that humans are incapable of digesting. Increasing portions of starch grain land could be used instead for hemp and other real protein foods. Those who pretend to be scientists so that they can create false narratives in support of elitist agendas could be convicted of lying and then forced to earn their living by herding and milking goats. Roger at hemphearts.com has a solution that enables anyone to achieve perfect independence in food and health. Remember that Hippocrates, the father of medicine, once said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food." Roger at hemphearts.com has learned to treasure the videos of certain internet heroes who have exposed the self-serving behaviors of wealthy elites and political elites in promoting continuous war and in promoting their own life-extending depravities as they attempt to control the world. We hope that we can motivate our internet heroes to expose the same wealthy elites and political elites in their promotion of the starch grain diets, which destroy human health and degrade the planet. Those elites who contemplate nuclear war as a solution to overpopulation must be forced to understand that if elites were removed from power and influence, the earth would be able to support many times as many humans as are alive now with ease. Please view the work of Amazing Polly below. Because she is so honest and well-intentioned, we are confident that she will accept our challenge to experiment with our real protein, Hemp Hearts Protein Flakes, and then report about her experiences.